I wrote a story for anyone who's ever been on the edge of giving up. It's an old myth, but also a new one. It's a blending of several ancient stories from throughout the world that have a common origin that stretches back to the dawn of human religion. It's a story that's built on one of humanity's oldest stories. And in fact, one of the main versions I pull from is the story of Inanna's ascent from the underworld, the oldest example of the hero's journey ever written down. It's about love, it's about loss, and that quiet, stubborn refusal to let the darkness have the last word. It's about a goddess who's been hurt, deeply, by the very forces that shape her. A goddess who had every reason to turn cold, to give up, to become what hurt her, but didn't. She found something still living inside of herself, something unbroken. And through that, she became the embodiment of strength, the kind of strength that heals instead of devours. Maybe that's what this myth is really about. Not perfection, not salvation, but surviving, and still choosing to make something beautiful out of the ruins. I hope you'll join me in this multi-part epic to learn how Freya Inanna ascended from the underworld. After the Aesir-Vanir War, despite the manipulations of Loki, each side realized that the other were in fact gods and not anti-gods. The Aesir, the gods of order, and the Vanir, the gods of nature and renewal, began to know one another, and Baldur and Inanna fell in love. Baldur called her Nanna, and he became her hope, her light, her Othar. He helped his Nanna overcome the trauma wrought upon her by her mother. Inanna had been born from Hel and the Dagda. The Dagda, god of cyclical life, had seduced the cyclical death, the Morrigan, the phantom queen of Hel, into creating new life. This was the origin of the Vanir, and one of those lives had been Inanna. The dead nourish the living, and life born from what's dead is one of our greatest strengths against entropy. Hel, Inanna's mother, was born from Loki and anguish. Baldur was born from Woden, the god of inspiration, and Frigg, the lady that is fate. For after all, fate favors the bold and inspired. Baldur is the hope for the future, and Baldur took very much after his father, resembling Woden when he was younger, even to the point that he was given the nickname Dumuzi, meaning faithful son or rightful child. So fair and dazzling was he in form and features that rays of light seemed to issue from him. His face was bright and shining, his hair was a radiant gold. Baldur was the mildest, the wisest, and he was the most eloquent of all the Aesir. While our Freya Inanna was his lover, Baldur was beloved by all. However, he became racked with terrible dreams, indicating that his life was in great peril. His mother Frigg wanted to protect her son, so she had all the beings swear to never to harm him. When this was done, it became a favorite pastime of the Aesir to get Baldur to stand up and to use him as target practice, for they knew nothing they threw at him would harm him. And this was regarded by all as a great honor shown to Baldur. But when Loki, the son of Leafi, beheld the scene, he was sorely vexed that Baldur was not hurt. Disguising himself as a woman, Loki traveled to Frigg's mansion. Making idle conversation with her, he gleaned that she had overlooked extracting an oath from mistletoe on Baldur's behalf, thinking it too young and too far off to matter. Mistletoe grows without roots, suspended in the air, drawing its life from the branches of other trees. It is not planted in the earth, nor does it die with the seasons. Even in winter it stays green. It was known to slow down bleeding and bring down fevers. It could stop the breath or bring seizures. It does not belong to sky or soil. It exists in between, an organism of thresholds. Some say it falls from the heavens. Others believe it climbs up from the underworld, drawn through the drying bark. It moves between realms, and that is why it was left out. That Loki understood. He gathered mistletoe and found Othar's brother Hothar, the blind god, whose name means battle rage. Hothar, he said, why don't you also throw things at your brother Othar, like all the other gods do? Because I am blind, answered Hothar, and cannot see where he is. Moreover, I had nothing to throw with. Come then, said Loki, do like the rest and show honor to Othar by throwing this sprig at him, and I will direct your arm toward the place where he stands. And under the guidance of Loki, Hother tossed it at his brother Balder, who, pierced through and through, fell down lifeless. The gods were horrified, and they grieved, though not one of them could find the words to express the poignancy of their feelings. Woden, especially, was more hurt by the loss that they had suffered, for he foresaw what a detriment the death of his heir would be to the gods, what the death of his Dumuzi would do to mankind. Their fields started to rot away. They became plunged in darkness. They began to war over what was left. Their children began to be plagued by death. Meanwhile, Frigg, the mother of Balder, wept for her son.
My loom weaves the thread of mourning. I, who weave the fates of gods and men, could not weave a shield for him. Once my boy shone so freely among the gods, now he is captive in hell. Once Balder shone so freely among the gods, now he is bound in death. The ash tree gives up its leaf, the mistletoe gives its sting. My loom weaves the thread of mourning. I, the weaver, dropped the thread. In a place where he once said my mother will ask for me, now he cannot lift his hands, he cannot move his feet. My loom weaves the thread of mourning. I would go to him, I would see my child.
The mother walked to the shadowed hall. Frigg walked to where Balder lay. She looked at the fallen bright one. She looked into his face. She said,
My child, the face is yours, the spirit is fled, and my weaving failed.
There was mourning in the high halls. There was grief in the inner chambers. The gods took the dead body and bore it to the seashore. They turned Balder's ship into a pyre. It was a great spectacle, and due to the difficulties in lighting the pyre, the giantess, withered by fire, was summoned, and there is a great contention between her and Thunor, for he is the exorcist of the giants, the exorcist of the anti-gods. Meanwhile, Nanna wept tears of red gold for her beloved. Droplets of amber fell around the world, and she lamented,
Gone is my husband, my sweet husband. Gone is my love, my sweet love. My beloved has been taken from the halls of the gods. Oh, you cursed plant that moves between worlds. My beloved bridegroom has been taken from me before I could wrap him with a proper shroud. The bright Lord lives no more. The God of hope, the bright Lord lives no more. Balder, the radiant one, lives no more. I ask the hills and valleys, where is my husband? I say to them, I can no longer bring him food. I can no longer serve him drink. The wolf lies down in his bed. The raven dwells in his sunlit chamber. You ask me about his reed pipe? The wind must play it for him. You ask me about his sweet songs? The wind must sing them for him. I would find my lover. I would comfort him. I would share his fate.
Nanna went into a trance of grief and heard her mother Hel speak.
Jump into the fire after your beloved. My daughter, jump in the fire. Join me, and I will reunite you with him. Join me and leave the gods behind. I have told humans, isolated in the West, but you, as Nanna Watson, have jumped into the fire, and rule over them with the powers of Balder as the sun. It is glorious. They worship me and call me Shaladel. They worship your uncle Jormungandr and call him Quetzalcoatl. Do to those humans as I do to you now, and command them to sacrifice themselves to you, as I'm commanding you to sacrifice yourself to me.
At that, Nanna remembered the lessons of her Other, and she became furious with hate at her mother, and she replied,
Mother of Shadows, hear me. Only a Jotun would demand such a thing. Only an anti-god would thirst for blood. Only the Devourer would call death an offering. Humanity should not sacrifice by their slaughter. Humanity should sacrifice by their struggle. Humanity should sacrifice by their love for each other. Life is fed when the dead turn into the living. That is the strength of the gods. That is their strength against entropy. You call it glory to leap into fire. You call it majesty to burn in the pyre. But I only see jaws, gnashing, unending. I see the furnace that devours without return. My Ophir taught me hope. My Ophir taught me life. Hope is not born of a blood pit. Hope is not born of a knife. Hope is born of a struggle. Hope is born of a song. I will not be your Nanna Watson. I will not be your pawn. I will not be your idol. I will not be the eater of men. If Balder is gone, I will seek him. If Balder is bound, I will unbind him. If Balder is lost, I will descend for him. As he was my light, I will be his strength. Keep your lies, O Mother of Death. Keep your fire, O feeder of corpses. I will not bow, I will not yield.
She embarked upon her boat of heaven, determined to go after Balder. Having dealt with many of the plots of the anti-gods as their exorcists, and still being quite enraged at the slaughter of his brother, Thrunor got some sense of what just occurred and promptly laid waste to Withered by Fire.